Good morning everyone. Guys, I thought I'd come and do this quick video outside because my computer's decided to update and I wanted to get this out there before the morning rush. So I'm going to give you a quick update and a rundown on what's been happening in the last 24 hours and how I think there's a high likelihood that we're going to be pushed into a global conflict, and it could start today. So guys, these are just the data points. If you disagree with them, absolutely fine. This is my opinion, my analysis, and a lot of speculation. So last 24 hours, let's start with the big one then. Vladimir Putin has come out and he has said, if the United Kingdom allow the Ukrainians to use Storm Shadow missiles in Russia, as in the Ukrainians firing from their ground into Russia, then he's going to class this as NATO has declared war with Russia. Now, remember the temperament, remember the, what the mainstream media are reporting in Russia. They're already reporting that they're in war with NATO. Guys, also, it's absolutely freezing this morning. I'm not convinced on global warming. Anyway, so that's what the Russians have said. 100% Vladimir Putin came out and he said that. He also, he did a video about that. He was on press, saying that. There's no disputing what I'm saying. That's not opinion. That's what actually happened. I did a video about that last night, guys. Go and check that out. I'll link it at the end of this video. So, sorry, I think I was covering the mic. Also, you've got David Lammy going out to Ukraine, I think yesterday or potentially the day before, meeting with the relevant representatives out there. Guys, they will have been talking about this 100%. Now, the way these things happen, they don't happen in the meetings. What happens is you have the meeting, there's the official meeting, somebody's taking notes, people are getting recorded. Once you leave that meeting, you go outside into the corridors, it's like a wild rush and there's people, can you do this, can you do that, can you do this? And that's where actual things happen. That's where that's where the meat is put on the bones, outside in the corridors. You've heard the phrase corridors of power. Now with that, the British Prime Minister has now landed in the United States. When asked about would the United States allow the use of Storm Shadow missiles into Russia, Joe Biden said, we're working it out, or we're working on it. Go check out my other videos, guys. I'll link them to the end of this. So right now you've got everybody in America, as in, the relevant stakeholders, the British, the Americans. I'm sure you'll have other delegations out there, and they'll be talking about the use of long-range missiles into Russia. On the other side of that coin, you've got Vladimir Putin saying, if you use long-range missiles into Russia, we will see this as a declaration of war. Guys, the Russians already believe that, the Russian state media, Russian mainstream media, that they already say that, they're in a global conflict with the West. So, I think this is just going to be the rubber stamp, the icing on the cake, the the final straw that breaks the donkey's back. Now, the question always is, how is Vladimir Putin going to respond? Is he just going to say, yeah, we've declared war on the West now? Are they going to, start striking targets in Poland? Are they going to start striking the main supply routes? What is going to be the outcome and what comes next? Also, guys, it's Friday the 13th. I don't know if you guys put any stock into that, but what I will say is, when we're talking about these global events, these global catastrophes, usually they happen, they begin, things happen, events happen on Fridays. Now, they happen on Fridays for a couple of reasons. Now, one of the main reasons is because of sorry guys, I'm just having to keep changing hands. So one of the main reasons things happen on a Friday, believe it or not, is because of the stock market. The stock market closes on a Friday and you can either make a ton of money or you can lose a ton of money, whichever way that you guys are trying to bet. So if you know these things are coming, you want to do them on a Friday because of the stock market, you can make a load of money. So if you're going to choose a day, you might as well choose a day that you can make a ton of money out of. Also, when these things happen, if they happen on a Friday, there's less people at work, the people go home early on a Friday, and it's just easier to, there's a lot more, like Murphy's Law, there's a lot more stuff that can go wrong on a Friday. So it's a lot easier to get things to happen on a Friday. So that's kind of it, guys. I wanted to keep this video short because I've done previous videos on it, and I'll obviously link these at the end and they'll pop up here or here. You know, but that's just it, guys. Right now, Friday the 13th, we could, by Monday, we could, and this is my speculation, guys, whether it happens or not, we don't know. You know, I obviously don't have a crystal ball, but I'm speculating these things could happen. And if not, it's an inevitability that this is going to happen. Now, it is really key that what Vladimir Putin said, because this was from the horse's mouth, guys. Remember, I did a video on it yesterday, literally minutes after it happened. And this is not one of his, you know, one of his attack dogs, one of his lackeys, one of those people who come out on mainstream media and just talk about things and rant. This is from Vladimir Putin himself. You know, not one of his spokespersons, not one of his, you know, not Medvedev, who's always talking about throwing missiles everywhere and his credibility has just gone to zero. But, you know, this is from Vladimir Putin himself, and he's saying, go check my video out, guys, I'll link it at the end of this. Vladimir Putin is saying, if the NATO, the coalition, whatever you want to call it, guys, because NATO is kind of obsolete at this point, but we'll use NATO. He's saying, if NATO allow Ukraine to use long-range missiles to strike targets inside Russia, then he considers this to be NATO entering the war against Russia. Now, with that, obviously, what is the retaliation going to be? We already know that Vladimir Putin is stockpiling a ton of weapons. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to Mac to Grid, and I'll see you guys later.